Northwest, and I'm driving through the gorge, and boy oh boy, the rain is here and not going away. So I'm making this video as an introduction and also a thank you. So the introduction is for the videos to follow in this video, and a thank you to everyone out there who has shown some interest in this channel and tuned in to the first and second videos that I made. This will be my third, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Let's continue the journey. So what I'm going to present in this video is actually in connection to something that I spoke of in my first video, and also is about an experience or group of experiences that happened in that same area. So we were in that area pretty much, it was a year to the day of this last camp out. So a year ago we were out there and we had some amazing experiences. Diana had a sighting, and we had a lot of interesting mouth pops and stick breaks and, you know, different types of noises that we picked up on the parabolic mic, some that we heard with our ears. There was definitely some activity inside of camp. After everybody goes to bed, they come out and, you know, poke around the camp, especially in the kitchen. So something else happened on that trip last year, which was an encounter that we had with a red orb in the tree line of the forest. So to kind of set this up, we were all in camp. It was one of the last nights that we were there, and Kevin and Rob and Mitch decided to go up this road, and they had some instruments with them. I think they had some drums and like a steel hang drum, and they were playing these instruments as they were walking down this path. And they look over to the left, and it's pitch black. Like it's pitch black. You can't see anything. They have their headlights off. We do that when we go out and do night walks. We either have a red headlamp, we have the red light on, or none. We are not shining lights out into the forest. We keep it dark so we can see them looking back at us. And it's just respectful. You know, I wouldn't want anyone shining lights in my eyes. So at any rate, they're down there, and they're down the road, and they see this red orb, and it's out in the middle of the trees, and it's going 50 feet up in the air, and it's coming back down, and it's going left, it's going right, it's coming towards them, it's going back to its spot. They're watching it for a good 10-15 minutes, and then they decide, like, hey, we should go get everybody else in camp, bring them out here so they can see it too. So that's what they did. They came back to camp, they told us all about it, and like the Scooby-Doo gang, we all went out as a group, literally holding on to each other because it's so dark you can't really see. We didn't want to lose anyone, so here we are, we're all walking together down this path to go look at this red orb in the forest. And as we're walking, I look over to the left, same side as where the orb is, and I see this outlined body, like human-shaped body, bipedal, upright, walking, and it's made out of just like this. It's light. It's not emanating all crazy and like beams of light coming off of it, but it was this subtle light body that was a different shade than everything else, and it was at its core this white light, and it was dimmed, but it was still a white light, and it was this outline and it's filled in of this body walking through. And I remember looking at it and just going, oh, well, okay. Well, I'm headed towards the orb. I don't know what that is, but like I'm going towards the orb. So it was like this interesting moment of like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I pay attention to that? But I didn't. I just acknowledged it and kept on walking. And as a group, we get over to this area and we're watching this red orb. And it's on, it's like it flashes on for 3 seconds, and then it flashes off, and it comes back on after a second. So it's like 3 seconds on, 1 off, 3 seconds on, 1 off, and it continues to do this. And we watch it go 50 feet up in the air and go to the left and go to the right and come towards us and then come back into its original spot. It's doing all of these things. And I think we watched it for anywhere between 45 minutes and an hour. And some of the group, you know, watched it for 20 minutes or so and left. And, you know, some others came and also went back. And then it came down to where it was just me and Kevin watching this. And I remembered, I was like, oh man, I've got a night vision monoscope back at my tent. I'm gonna go grab that because I want to see exactly where this is. It was so dark we couldn't tell, like, is this on a mountain like far away? What's in that direction? There's nothing here. There's nothing between us and like, you know, it's just forest. Very hard. Can't figure out like what this is, but it's an orb. And there's other lights too. There's these little pinpoint lights that were around it. So I go and get that monoscope, and it's a night vision. When you look through it, everything's green. And I look at the area where this orb is, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a really good feel for where it's at. And so there was this tree that was closest to us on the trail. And I look at the tree through the night vision. I'm like, all right, here's this tree. And I start going layer and layer back. Here's this landmark. Here's this landmark. And then I was like, oh boy, Kevin. I was like, that is not far at all. That is not far at all. That is like right here. It is not far at all. And through the monoscope, through the night vision, it looked like an orb like you would see in photography. When you looked at it with just your eyes, for me, when I looked at it with just my eyes, it was a ball of red light. Some people saw that the trees that were around it, when it would flash on for those 3 seconds of red, it was actually emanating a white light and illuminating the trees around it in a white light. Okay? Well, at one point, I didn't have my phone on me, but Dana did. And I asked Dana if I could use her phone so I could record it. And I did. I recorded this orb for 1 minute 50 seconds. And you can hear all of us discussing what we're seeing. And about halfway through, you can hear my voice. I'm like, do you guys see this? Do you guys see what I'm seeing? I was flabbergasted because what I was seeing through the iPhone, what I was videoing, was a spinning diamond. So it's a spinning red diamond in the iPhone. It's a red orb with eyes, and then it's like a see-through orb through night vision. So I have that video, and it's gonna play after my little monologue here. Along with that, I also took video the day after. So during the daylight, I went back to that spot, and I show you where all of this takes place in daytime. And then, as a group, we went over to where we deduced the orb was at by using the night vision map that I was able to create. So visually, we were able to go, oh, it looked like it was in this little grove of trees. Well, it was, and this is this grove of trees. Well, we get over to that area, what do we find? we find 2 fist prints in the duff. And this area inside these trees, like if they were looking at us and we were looking at them, they had a little like shelf and they could hide underneath. It went down, it sloped down. So it made sense that someone had pushed themselves up with their fists and was looking up over this ridge. They had this orb right above them. Whether or not they made it, or it was a projection, or it was a Sasquatch in an orb body, I don't know. But in that same area, we find fist prints. In that same area, we have the video of the light orb. And we had multiple witnesses that saw the same thing, but also had their own experiences and saw unique things that others didn't. So it was a phenomenal experience. It was a beautiful connection in just, you know, what they can do. What they can do. So I hope you enjoy it and, you know, study the video. I haven't altered this video in any sense. It is what it is and it speaks for itself. So I appreciate you checking it out, and I super appreciate you know, continuing this journey with me and looking at all of this stuff that comes along with connecting with the Sasquatch. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you. Enjoy.
Yeah, that might be the light that we saw originally.
Oh.
I think that's what we saw originally about
okay.
an hour ago.
And it's really, to me, illuminating the tree it's on, the space it's in.
So there are definitely
It's going
2
down
lights.
now.
We got a red and a white.
Going back down.
Because we come over here.
Oh,
there's
that
the
was a
red.
flash. Wow, I must be seeing my own light show. Which I could be. I'm having flashes of light in the house. This is different.
Are you? Are you getting
Look at how it looks. Does anyone come here? Anybody want to look at this? Come here and look at this.
I don't see the.
Watch slow. Oh, it's this bright light. That you have. Yeah. Go slow. Yeah. Baby steps.
Is everybody seeing
The
it?
red light is going to move further away, it seems.
Oh, you got it on video.
There was a flash.
Oh, yeah, there's a red light. Oh, shit, there's a red. Has anybody talked out to it?
Yeah.
Kevin has said if you're good intentions and, you know, nothing bad, you can stay and come closer. If you're bad, then we want you to leave.
It's getting
And that
faker
we're here
and
for
Oh, okay. So I got it.
you know, good intentions and
Oh, he's going to wait.
nothing. We're just interested. We're just curious.
Okay, so now we can reduce
Ashley,
that.
right on. I'm glad
I
you
know,
did.
She's getting it totally. Like I can't even see what she's getting.
Right there.
And I see a total white one up there.
I know.
Okay, you guys, the
And
red
it's
light's going
illuminating
downhill.
the tree and going way up
Can you
it.
see it?
Yep.
Isn't it?
Here, sister.
Careful.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there was a flash.
There it is. Yeah.
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 I'm all tingled.
And a little spider has made a home inside the indentation of a possible thumb. And there's little humps that correlate with fingers. And they're both next to each other. And this is the spot that we did see. We're able to look through night vision and really pinpoint where this area was in these trees here. And it was in the middle of this tree section. And we have potential handprints. Cool.
Hello. So I'm out here on this path. Goes down up there, goes to a dead end, and comes down here. And that continues out to past our campsite. And if you go farther down here, then you get up to the parking lot and other campsites. There's no other campsites over here. Here's our marking sticks and some marks we made in the ground last night. Rob and Mitch and Kevin did a night walk. They had some instruments and they were playing it. And as they looked over into the woods over here, they saw a dancing red orb. They stopped the music, they watched it dance about, and they came back over into camp to tell us about it. And then we all trekked over here in one nice little tight group, and we stood here, we made our marks, and we watched an orb of light, of red light, dancing in this area. At first we thought maybe it was far away, maybe it was 200 yards away or so. This entire area was pitch black, no light, except for the orb. And at that orb, at around at the 5 o'clock mark of below and to the right of that orb was another little pinpoint of like a blue-white light. And so we came out here, we marked the spot, we all watched it, and went back over into camp. But then later on, smaller groups came back up here to check it out. And I remembered that I brought my binoculars, and I brought a night vision, like hunting scope, like handheld night vision infrared scope. And I retrieved those and came back up here and met Kevin. And I was like, all right, well, let's check it out. Let's see exactly like where this thing is. Because it was still here. And this is over 45 minutes, an hour of this light, of this orb. It moved up and down. It moved left and right. It climbed up 50 plus feet and came back down lower to below eye level. Mostly it was eye level. Now, the orb also was casting a light, and that light was white. It was a white light that was kind of illuminating up and around in the areas, but there wasn't red light that was cast. But the orb was red, and it was doing a steady cadence blinking of 1, 2, 3, off. 1, 2, 3, off. So it was on for around 3 seconds, and then it would turn off and it would come back on. So when I decided to look through the infrared night vision scope, it's like, okay, how far away is it? Like, what are we dealing with? Well, if you see this very large tree right here, I was like, okay, here's my starting point. Here's this tree right here. And it's over to the right of it. And this is like where it was at. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 or so trees, and it was inside of that. So we're talking just like right in here area. And again, it's not very far. Much closer than any of us thought. What was interesting is that if I looked through the binoculars, it didn't get larger. It actually looked larger. The light looked larger with my normal eyes, just seeing it without binoculars. When I tried to put the binoculars on, it seemed really far away. When I looked at it through the night vision, that's when I was like, oh, you're in a grove. Oh, you're in a circular area of trees, or at least from this standpoint. And it's inside. So there was trees behind it. There was trees in front of it. And it was the orb through the infrared looked like an orb in photography where it had a brighter shell and a more translucent, non-lit up center. And it was circular in shape, and we watched it bebop around and do all sorts of things for an extended amount of time with multiple witnesses. Interesting to note is that everyone was seeing the same thing, but other people were seeing some more lights and other people were not seeing those lights. So there was definitely like an individual aspect to the witnessing, but we were all still witnessing the red orb and the movement of it up in this area. So again, this is not far away. I am standing right here on this road, and it was right in here. I'd say it did not go past, it didn't go farther back than, you know, where this is, where this leaner is. But I'm going to say it was most likely like right in here. And it was very, very close. So when we came here today, this morning, to again check it out, we made our marks. Here's this. Bam. Now there's a bone here. We walked up and down this road yesterday because we filmed some footprints. Diana had a sighting. A lot of things happened, and there was a lot of activity on this road from us, not anyone else. And here we have a bone that's set up right in the same area. Right in the same area. And Kevin speculated that it might be a young deer bone. I don't want to touch it, but... So that's that. And we stuck that stick in the ground to mark this area. I'm going to walk into the woods so you can see that it is not as far as we thought. I'm thinking like right in here. Like right here. Even from this height, I pulled a stick up. I came down here a little bit later. See, look at this grove right here. I think it was right in here. I think this was it. I took a stick, right? And this goes down into this, right? And I took a stick and I held it up, and we're thinking it was probably, 10, 12, 15 feet up or so, you know? And here we are this far away. Super cool. It was a great experience, and I'm really appreciative for it. And, you know, it's something I get to talk about around a campfire for the rest of my life. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing your space. Thank you for connecting. And I look forward to returning and connecting more. Peace and love, y'all.